Every sports industry has their respective scandals and controversies, followed by the players being made to pay fines to make up for the trouble. But sometimes these players are made to pay some for the most ridiculous reasons, which we're about to share with you on today's episode. For today's video, we'll be listing down some of the dumbest NBA players' fines revealed, so if you're curious to know more, then keep on watching. LeBron James fined for doing the big balls dance. Starting today's list of dumbest fines is something that happened to basketball superstar LeBron James last November 2021, where he was seen doing his big balls dance and fined $15,000. Sure, this amount is nothing but loose change for the basketball star, but the grounds for his fine is pretty dumb if we're being honest about it. The big balls dance was a pretty popular dance move that NBA players were doing back in the 2010-2011 season, but was banned for its obscene gesture. The move was popularized by Sam Cassell in the Lakers win versus the Indiana Pacers and got stuck to many. But that wasn't the only thing the league had to say about James, since they also issued a statement warning him for using profane language during media availability in response to league-imposed discipline. This statement came about the athlete telling ESPN's Dave McMenamin that the league's decision to suspend him for one game was some BS after he hit Isaiah Stewart. But James's case wasn't a one-time case, since other players were also being fined for dancing, outlined by Jovan Buha of The Athletic. According to Buha, the league has been fining players left and right, ranging from $15,000 to $25,000 for dancing. Before James, Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors was fined the same amount earlier in November, and the Lakers' Julius Randle was also fined the $15,000 fee for doing the dance after their team won over the Miami Heat in 2016, according to Buha's story in 2019. Brooklyn Nets center Andre Bloch was also fined $15,000 by the NBA back in 2013 after making the obscene gesture after the team's win over the Miami Heat at that time. A video of Bloch doing the gesture caught the league's attention, and they also made sure to fine Marco Bellinelli when he did it after the Chicago Bulls won Game 7 over the Brooklyn Nets back in 2012. It's kind of funny how the NBA league is taking this seriously with something as harmless as a big balls dance, but hey, they fined more than a few players, so might as well keep in line. All in all, at least James and his fans had a little laugh about the situation, and as we said, the amount's nothing but loose change for the man, seeing as how he makes $41 million annually. The Chicago Bulls were fined for not reporting Michael Jordan's change in jersey number. Basketball fan or not, who wouldn't know the sports legend Michael Jordan and his iconic Chicago Bulls jersey in its respective 23 number? Famous as he was, the living legend was also heavily monitored by the league, and in 1995, he too was fined $25,000 for changing his jersey number from the iconic 23 to 45 in the middle of the Bulls' playoff run in the same year. Jordan announced his retirement for the first time earlier on, which shocked the world since he was only 30 at the time due to the tragic loss of his father in a shootout that rendered him disinterested in the sport. Honoring his late father's wishes, Jordan tried his hand at baseball, and Jerry Reinsdorf was there to offer him a contract to play for the Chicago White Sox. He didn't get any special treatment and worked his way up to play on the field, and after spending 2 seasons playing in the minor leagues, Jordan made his return in the NBA with 2 words: "I'm back." After 16 months off the court, his basketball comeback wasn't as smooth as he initially thought, but he managed to ease into how he usually plays. The only difference about Jordan then is that he's sporting a 45 jersey number, and rightfully so, since the team already retired his jersey number 23. But the 45 jersey didn't last long, and soon he reverted to his original number after suffering a bad start against the Orlando Magic in the playoffs. The team was already fined $25,000 after Game 2 for failing to notify the league that Jordan would be switching from number 45 to 23. Losing Game 2 turned out to be a good thing for the team, since their $100,000 fine was broken down to $25,000 per game for the 4 additional games Jordan continued playing in with his jersey number 23. Steph Curry got fined for throwing his mouth guard and hitting an official during a game. Continuing with the list is another hilarious story in hindsight that involved another basketball superstar. Back in 2017, Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry got in trouble for throwing his mouth guard in frustration when the team lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. Out of frustration, Curry threw his mouth guard in the direction of the official, who unfortunately got hit by this unlikely sports accessory. Thankfully, the basketball superstar didn't receive any suspension, but he was fined $50,000 for his actions. Not only that, but his fellow teammate Andre Iguodala was also fined $15,000 the same night for verbally abusing a game official. An excerpt from the league's official statement read, "The incident, for which Curry was ejected, occurred with 43.6 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of the Warriors' 111-101 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday, October 21st at FedEx Forum." As part of the same incident, Warriors forward Andre Iguodala has been fined $15,000 for verbally abusing a game official. It seems Curry has a habit of throwing his mouthpiece when frustrated, since a similar incident took place a year before when he threw his mouth guard and hit a fan during a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers that tied the series 3-3. Curry, despite despite the little contact, was fouled out, which got him angry and flipped out, throwing his mouth guard into the stands and hitting a fan. He then went on to scream at the referee, and it wasn't long before he got ejected from the game because of his actions. This also marked Curry's first ejection throughout his career. As for the fan, well, he wasn't just any ordinary fan, since it was Andrew Forbes, the son of Cavaliers minority owner Nate Forbes, who got hit by the mouthpiece. The two shook hands after the act, of which Curry also issued an apology. Thankfully for the NBA star, Forbes was pretty cool about it and said, "It's all good." NBA fined Delonte West $25,000 for putting his finger on Gordon Hayward's ear. Yes, you heard right. You could get fined if the league ever caught you putting a finger on one of your opponents during the game, such as the case with Delonte West. During a Dallas-Utah game back in 2012, West got fined for sticking his finger on Gordon Hayward's ear during the game's triple overtime, which the NBA considered as a physical taunt. This elementary move not only required West to pay a fine, but he also issued an apology for what he did say that he went over the line. "I saw some lint in his hair, and I wanted to get it out for him," West explained about his actions. "Seriously, we were like two warriors out there, but I forgot the NBA is a gentleman's game. They want us to battle and scrap, but they want us to do it nicely." His coach, Dallas Mavericks Rick Carlisle, was not happy with his player's action. "I made it clear to him that that's unacceptable," Carlisle said in a statement following West's stunt. "He's a competitive guy, but your competitiveness has to manifest in the right way, and by and large, he's had a tremendous year for us, and he's done the right things. I see that as an isolated incident, and I don't see it happening again." J.R. Smith received a fine for defending his brother on Twitter. Last but not least, we have the LA Lakers shooting guard J.R. Smith, who's no stranger to receiving several penalties from the league, whether it be for tying his opponent's shoelaces to having a supreme tattoo. The man's got quite the record, but if there's any of his antics that landed him in today's list, it's because of an online altercation with Brandon Jennings back in 2013. For context, Jennings knocked Smith's brother, Chris, about taking a spot from players Jennings believed to be better players. Smith quickly rose to his brother's defense and took to Twitter his retort, saying, "No disrespect for these little kids who pop at the mouth on Twitter and then want to delete they tweets." As you can see, he didn't name anyone on the said tweet, but the player was fined $25,000 by the league anyway. And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode about the dumbest NBA player fines. Do you know of any NBA player that deserves a spot on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching!